They say walk in your truth and not in your shadows. They also tell you you're too much, making you feel like a burden, but they always want you to speak up for what isn't spoken. Unspoken truth, hiding behind an unspoken poet, unspoken stories, never get told by unspoken words.
Yo, what's good? It's your girl Becky the Poet here. Welcome back to season 11. We have here Black Ceasar here on episode 101. It's lit. But for you guys don't know, I've had Black Ceasar here on the podcast before. There's no video because we recorded this in my car, which was very interesting. So here's the upgraded version of Black Ceasar and a little update what he's been working on. But go ahead and reintroduce yourself, give me your social media, one sentence about yourself, and one sentence of what you've been doing lately.
Hello, I am Black Ceasar. You can make sure and follow me on all social media platforms. That's Black Ceasar, BLACKCEASAR _. Me in one sentence: I love the people, I love solidarity, I love upliftment. So I'm gonna just put a comma, period right there. And then
and what you've been doing?
What I've been doing, creating. Just trying to build something beautiful, trying to build something timeless that y'all can enjoy, for sure.
So we're here today specifically because you recently announced that you're dropping a poetry book.
Yeah.
Also, you're creating an audiobook for the poetry book, which is really dope because I feel like that's two projects in one, which is a lot harder to do because you have to write the book and plan time to plan it and also record the audio for this to listen, which is great because I love listening to audiobooks. I will say this is your logo here and the upgrade is lit. I really appreciate that. So with your book, go ahead and tell us what's the title of the book and when is the release date, and go ahead and tell us about the book.
So the title of the book is Lend Me Your Ears. Lend me your ears. You know, so as a poet, I feel that's pivotal. You know, like that's our connection point. That's how you begin to digest. Just a little bit about the book. It's a compilation of poems. It has about 90 poems in the book, just ranging on just so many topics, you know, just allowing you to, you know, really just for all walks of life, you know, to be able to take something, you know, take these gems and learn something, you know, whether it be perspective, whether it be something new, whether it be something old, you know, that needs to be reiterated to everybody to be able to enjoy this book. We have a pre-sale release. It's going to be February 25th with an official release date on all platforms, March 1st. So I'm releasing this book on Amazon Kindle exclusively as far as just the hard copies. And then also you're going to be able to get the audio book, should I say, on iTunes. You'll be able to get it as well as on Amazon, and you'll be able to get it on Spotify. So you know, hopefully everybody will be able to enjoy this. And you know, the audiobooks will be something special for sure.
So in the process of writing a poetry book, you said you had 90 poems.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes down to writing poetry books, people take years and months to write these poems because in all reality, poems, like you can't just whip out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poems in one day and just call it a day because you have to go through the editing process. So with you writing all these poems, what was the mental process of you writing it specifically for this book? Because you know, as poets, we have performing poems. Yeah. We have poems specifically for Instagram. We have poems specifically for certain events. But writing poems for a book, how did you distinguish to categorize those from different?
You know what? And I feel like that was one, that was really key. Whenever I was writing the book, because I really was like, dang, like, you know, I'm used to performance art.
Right.
So now, you know, you have these people who are just like literary, you know, grammar professionals who are going to be dissecting my book. I'm just like, you know, I really have to sit back and just really just dig into the editing process, and, you know, and seek out different editors to just really see, okay, is this something that a reader could enjoy? You know,
right.
something that a reader could take something away from. And I think that it allowed me to receive a different perspective, should I say, just in the art of being a poet, in the art of, you know, being an author, you know, because there is a separation there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like I was able to have a little bit more fun with the audio book, because I was able to take those poems that I did have to edit, to fit the book mode. I can go into the studio and just really just tap in, really give you that energy, to bring those poems that are on the pages to life,
I will say you're really smart, and it's really a good idea to create the audiobook at the same time as your release, because with poetry, it's really sometimes hard for people to read poetry books. There really is no start, there really is no end. There's really, you just open the book up and whatever poem resonates to you, you feel it, right? You read it, right? There are some people who can read it from page 1 to 90, and there's some people who can read from page 35 to 1. You know what I'm saying? Read it in different orders. So when you were creating the orders of the poems in your book, how did you go to organizing that?
Okay, so essentially, whenever I put the book together, there is no essential or chronological order. I just have a conceptual overview of about 8 topics that I felt really resonated with me, that I felt resonated with people when I did my research to begin writing the book. And I just wanted to just give that perspective from a Black man, just using my intellect. That's one thing. Just where we're from, it's not always cool to be smart, but I think, just being able to utilize your resources and use your environment to your advantage, and that's what I did with this book. Is just really just tap into my experiences to use this audiobook and use this hard copy to make a beautiful poetic experience. Yeah.
So I was listening to what you were saying, and you specifically categorize this as Black man. Now, I know your poems. I know you support the Black Lives Matter, which is a very important topic. Within this book, are we going to get that?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I do have a specific Black Lives Matter chapter in there, as well as the upbringing, as well as politics versus justice. And so, the paradigm is very wide here. You're able to, there's a wide range of topics that you can really dig into and be able to digest from, regardless of what your interests are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When it comes down to political poetry, now I don't really know much about it, right? I write poetry through my emotions. When it comes down to politics and being involved into this world's today news, it's a little bit different. You kind of have to have your facts straight. So when it comes down to writing about your experience with the politics, with today's issues, how were you able to do more research besides Google and all that, and living through it? How were you able to do more research besides that to put into words and paint pictures for others to how they're going to perceive your poetry?
For sure. No, so one thing about me, I'm a huge history buff. When I went to college, that was my major, so I'm just really tapped into political science and just understanding more about the powers that be, And
right.
So whenever I start doing my poetry, also along with my religion, you see everything that's written in a good book is rewritten in history. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And so all of these things do coincide. And so, just me just really tapping into this book as far as just political views, I was able to just use, of course, like you said, my experiences and also hardcore facts,
right.
To bring these to life. And one in particular is Something for Tommy Lauren. Is a poem I have inside there. And
no one really likes her.
Nobody really likes her. I mean, bigotry is bigotry. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi,
okay.
And that's one thing. I mean, cotton fields, I've seen burning crosses as not too long ago. It was 2016. I seen a burning cross not too far from my grandmother's house. You know what
right.
I'm saying? And just happen to see these things in present day, and it's the same fight. You know what I'm saying? So Tommy Lauren just continually adding fuel to the fire of this bigotry and this constant divide that's taking place.
Right.
It's unnecessary. And so when I wrote that poem, it was just it's something that's anti-hatred, anti-NRA. And it's based around the shooting that took place in El Paso at the Walmart. My dad's from El Paso, so I have a lot of love for the city. And just gun laws. Just making sure we do have reform so that everybody is equally policed. Everybody's equally, that the laws apply to everybody, regardless of your money, regardless
right.
of, the economic status, so.
Well, I really appreciate you discussing those, because I know a lot of poetry nowadays, people fake political poems to win, like, what do you call it, slams and whatnot, which I appreciate you just justify the truth in your experience with it, right? With your book, you're showcasing these emotions and feelings to what you've been through for the people, what do you also expect people to feel when it comes down to reading your book, listening to your book?
I want it to be a roller coaster. That's why I had the conceptual overview, where it just gives you just a range of topics and it goes at random, so it's like Russian roulette. So as you turn the page and I show what you're gonna get, it could be love, it could be heartbreak, it could be just the upbringing of just understanding that we do have flaws, within our bloodlines, flaws between family members,
right.
So just giving you that perspective, just from my point of view, and also from the point of view of others that I've seen, just kind of learning from other people's losses as well. Yeah.
Well, I really respect that you wrote this, and then at the same time too, it's a different side of you I've never seen. I remember you reached out to me at Black Canvas, like, yo, I'm an upcoming poet, I'm trying to get my stuff together, I love the way you perform, just, and I really, really, really appreciate you continue to take this poetry during these times and shining light on issues that we don't really know how to discuss or talk about, right? When it comes down to this book, I really can't wait to hear it, just because in all reality, one, you're a close friend of mine, and I really appreciate your work. I love all that you've done. I love your poems in general. I love how you can be sensual and also at the same time serious but also playful, and to see you grow as a poet, to expand on the issues and take your words and speak your truth, which is applauded, very highly applauded. So anybody who's listening, I know this book is released March 1st. This episode will be probably a couple of days later, the same week, but where can they find your book? And is there anything you want to say about your book before this episode is over with?
Yeah, so this book will be available on Amazon Kindle platforms. You'll be able to get the ebook. You'll be able to get the hard copy book. I'll also have copies on hand. We're getting together the book signing right now, so that'll be later on in the month of March. And as well as the actual audiobook will be available on iTunes and Spotify platforms, and also Napster, the platform. I'm not sure if y'all still on that, but we do have a couple. It's going to be available on all platforms where you'll be able to enjoy it. And then I believe in April it'll be available on Audible as well. So you'll be able to get it anywhere. You'll be able to digest it. And I'm just really excited, man. This book I wanted it to be something that was timeless. I wanted it to be something that was generational. I wanted to put my heart and soul into something. I took a year. I took the pandemic to just really just pour all of my experiences into something and just create something beautiful. And I truly feel that, to resonate with everybody that reads it, and I truly hope you all enjoy it, for sure. Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate having you today, especially starting off to episode 101. We've grown a lot in our growth as poets, as friends, to see you and just continue growing and acting. I see you doing a lot of different things. I really want you to keep going, keep pushing this book, keep telling your truth, keep speaking poetry. You are a very great poet. I call you by your first name, but Black Ceasar, you are an amazing poet. So continue to be you. And I really hope you guys tune into his book, listening or reading, catching him out here in Dallas, Texas, or all over the United States whenever this is over with, or whatever he decides to do. But thank you so much for tuning into the Unspoken Words podcast. If you're listening, please share this with everybody who haven't listened. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to it, comment, interact, because I do read those. And if there are any questions or anything you want from Black Ceasar, go ahead and follow him on his social media. We'll include that in the video here. Also, if you want me to do another interview with him, go ahead and let me know. We can ask more questions, further in-depth questions about the process of him during this book. But I really appreciate you coming on the show in general. So thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
And we are out. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube at Becky the Poet. And then follow me on Instagram, Becky the Poet, and the podcast, Unspoken Words Podcast. All right, you guys. Love ya.